Good. Day 4 of the Career and Love Conference 2020. So far, we've had amazing speakers, and we still continue to have amazing speakers for our session. Today, we are having another very great friend and brother of mine, and I'm honored to be doing the honors of introducing him. But before I introduce him, I want to acknowledge our supporting partners, Belaqua Mineral Water, Realtalk with Sandra, AJ Willz Media, Blaqsheep Multimedia, and HitzAfrik Radio UK. We thank them so much for making this happen. So our speaker for today is an author, trainer, and business strategist, lead partner and co-founder of Listrap Consult with his wife, Abimbola, a strategic consulting firm positioned to raising high-growth entrepreneurs who desire to build healthy organizations across Africa. He is an alumni of Daystar Leadership Academy, certified professional in enterprise management, Institute for Enterprise Management and Analytics, international award in delivering training, and Highfields HABC. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology from the prestigious Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State, Nigeria. His top 5 strengths themes are futuristic, strategic thinking, belief, responsibility, and connectedness. Over the last decade, he has gained professional experience working with 22 startups, small and medium.
You at the beginning and the end. Lord, we ask as we discover this evening, we ask that you open our eyes and our mind, that at the end of the day we'll have a greater understanding, we'll be able to function with the unction you have given us. In Jesus' name we prayed. Amen. And in the beginning, we're going to be looking at how to grow a profitable business. And we'll be looking at the area of focus today is going to be building the right skill sets. One of the favorite scriptures that I love anytime I want to talk about business and entrepreneurship, I look at Ecclesiastes 10 verse 15. It says that the labor of a foolish man wearieth him because he doesn't know how to go to the city. Now, the essence of doing business is so that one will be profitable and one will be properly positioned to be to look at them and find out, okay, what do you think would be ideal in each of those spaces quickly in less than 1 minute. Okay, let's say a minute. Let's see what we're able to come up with. Number 1, you have engaged employee. Number 2,
forgive me, sorry, it just went.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's the next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Now let's look at the spaces there. Let's feel what do you think is ideal from 1 to 8. What do you think will be ideal in each of those spaces? We are looking at building the right skill sets. So let's look at what we're able to come up with. So that would aid us to know how to grow the right business. So let's just see what we're able to come up with. In case of clarity, let me just quickly read it out. Engage employees, identify strengths, great managers, real profit increase, loyal customers, stock increase, the right fit, sustainable growth. So where do you think each of them would fall in? You could just name them 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see. Okay, because of our time, let's look at our options. Number one, when you're trying to build a business, this is the trend you should follow. First and foremost is identify your strength. When you identify your strength, then you will be able to make the right fit, which could develop Okay. Okay, thank you. So the examples that we see around us, we discovered that a lot of people try to start a business without identifying their strengths. The first thing they're interested in how to have loyal customers, how to have sustainable growth, how to have engaged employees. And they skip out the part of identifying your strengths. They skip out the part of the right fit. They skip out the part of the great managers. So if you've not identified your strengths, it will be difficult to have the right fit, and it will be difficult to have the right managers. So right managers, the great managers actually contribute to engage employees. So once managers are not well equipped, employees are not going to be engaged. And it's going to also affect loyal customers, which will also affect the sustainable growth, real profit increase, and stock increase. Let's move to the next slide. Now, by way of definition, we all have talent, beautiful, but talent has to do with the natural capacity for excellence. So talent cannot be downloaded. These are things that are naturally resident in every one of them. So by way of definition, according to Gallup, I'm saying that talent is a natural capacity for excellence. Now, every one of us have got strength, but most times we confuse our strength with talent. So your strength starts with your talent. When you know what comes in natural for you. For example, one of my top 5 is being futuristic. It comes natural when I'm having conversations with people. I begin to see 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ahead. Now, to some people, they say, you are too forward, you are too fast. No, but that's my wiring. That's what comes natural for me. So let's look at the definition of excellence. Excellence has to do with the manifestation of talent through practice and learning. So you cannot attain excellence without the manifestation of your natural capacity, which is developed as a result of constant practice and learning. In psychology, learning is defined as the relative permanent change in behavior as a result of experience. So whatever you have experienced will trigger off what you are able to learn. Now, when we look at what are the talents, now in recognizing your talent, according to the Gallup philosophy, they came up with 4 themes executing, influencing, relationship building, and strategic thinking. So every one of us, according to Gallup, which is one of the greatest research institute that has to do with understanding how the human being work, how the human talent and strength work. They make us understand that every individual is made up of 34 talent teams. Now, out of these 34 talent teams, you are able to know your area of top talent and your area of lesser talent. Now, the benchmark of it all is that everyone has to be able to, for you to be able to understand your talent team falls under your ability to execute, your ability to influence, and your ability to build relationship and strategic thinking. So if we look at it, somebody who loves to achieve, who knows how, who is analytical, falls under the category of an executor. Let's just make it that way. An executor. Now, somebody who loves, who is disciplined, who is deliberate and focused about what he wants to do. The person falls under the talent team of an influencer. So, if, for example, you are somebody who loves to connect with people, that means that you have a strong talent of being able to influence, which is good for business. Now, relationship building is key. When you look at things like harmony, includer, individualization, learner, maximizer, intellection. Now, what that has to do is that if there's somebody who loves building relationship matters to you more than any other thing, you will discover that with this, you always love the fact that you want to see how problems are solved. So if you are trying to go into business and you don't love solving problems, I think you need to look in another direction. Now, according to Gallup, one of the things that they discovered when it comes to recognizing talent is that many a times we focus so much on our weaknesses rather than our strength. And in the corporate world, we are often sent on training in the area of weaknesses. We hardly go for training in the area of our strengths. And so from research, it has proven that if you focus on your weakness, you only achieve 21% excellence. But when you focus on your strength, you attend trainings in your area of strength, you are actually able to achieve 90%. So now from on our slide, you can see that people who focus on using their strengths are 3 times more likely to report having an excellent quality of life. Then they are 6 times more likely to be engaged in their job, their career, and their business. So it's all about engagement. So if you are in a place where you are not engaged, then that means that you are operating below your capacity. Next slide, please. Now, one of the major skill sets that you need in setting up the right business or trying to grow, where you're trying to build the right business is number one, you have to look at your ambition. Now, when you're looking at that, it's, a lot of people tell you, I have been in business for 50 years as a result of experience. So look at this very funny thing. If your capacity is 10% and the responsibility you are given is 100%, your failure rate is 90%. So for you to be able to grow a profitable business, you've got to increase your capacity. Without an increased capacity, you cannot achieve much. So to be able to increase your capacity, what are the things you need to do? Number one, you need to learn a modern skill. You need to learn a marketable skill. You need to learn a skill that pays good money. You need to learn a skill that has a large market, of people who seek it. So it's not just one thing that you just wake up and you now begin to think, okay, what is going to sell is dokunu, and what's going to sell is this product or that product. You need to look at which which product, which skills do you think that can help, that has a large market already for it? Today we are using Zoom because they made a provision, they created a demand in the marketplace where everybody, we can all connect at such a time as this. Now, you have to learn a skill that pays and covers your money needs. It makes no sense to be offering what cannot pay your bills. Then you need to learn a skill that fits your academic exposure. So just like we've been talking about, focusing on your strengths, understanding what comes natural for you. So if you learn a skill around what comes natural for you, then it gets to help you to create the right opportunities that will fetch you the kind of money that you need to be able to grow your business regularly. Now, the next point is critical thinking. A lot of people don't think, they just do things out of impulse. So for you to be able to grow a sustainable or a profitable business, you've got to learn how to think critically. You need to think without even creating a box. You need to think like Zoom. You need to think, okay, what can we do differently that can connect people? You need to think, or you need to think futuristic. You have to think 20 years ahead. What happens in case, for example, those of us who are building our brand, our businesses on Facebook, that's a borrowed platform. What if Facebook and Instagram or WhatsApp shuts down? What else are you going to fall back on? So you need to put some thinking into the skill that you have chosen to learn. A lot of skills are good, but the question is, does the return meet your current money needs? Let me give you an example. During this COVID, during this lockdown, I had to develop the act of listening to customers and knowing how to solve their problem. In one of the occasions, somebody referred me to a client. After having a series of meetings with the client, I could pick out strongly that the client has an issue with not being able. He has a lot of books he wanted to write, but he does not have the time and the patience to do it. And so what I did, I said, okay, I'm going to solve before we went off. I was giving an example of being able to pay attention to your client's need, customers' need, being able to pay attention. Currently, I'm writing a book for a professor of management based in the US, and I've written three so far. I've written 3 books for him. And how was I able to achieve that? I was able to understand his area of weakness or his pain area and provide solutions. So if you are going to be able to, if you desire to build a profitable business, you must be able to pay attention to the needs of your customers. You must locate the pain area and make sure you serve them consistently in those areas of pain or area of concern. Now, that brings us to the next skill set that we all need: communication. It is better to over-communicate than to under-communicate. Now, what is it? Now, the beautiful thing about communication is it's something that must be constant. Now, the true essence of communication in business is for engagement and experience. Now, when we started the class, the session rather, our feedbacks, okay, we can't hear you well, it's breaking. Now, I had to quickly adjust to ensure that the experience is improved. So in business, you have to pay attention to engagement and experience. Every customer wants a good experience. They are coming from a bad. They have. How will I put it now? They have a catalog of a bad experience, and they are looking at where where they can be better appreciated, where they can get a good experience. And so when the experience is far better than where they are coming from, then they are able to engage properly. So, however, we must pay attention to the micro moments as entrepreneurs. Now, what are the micro moments? The micro moments are those intent-rich moments when decisions are being made. For example, if I did not now, to be able to achieve that, you must be able to effectively. Your communication has to be effective. It has to be regular. You have to keep putting in your best. And the only way you can put in your best is being there for your customers, being useful, being quick, ability to connect the dots. Now, you should know when customer's preference has changed from what is available to what they actually need. For example, before the COVID, nobody was interested in nose masks except you want to go for surgery. But all of a sudden, everybody went to the production of face masks. And after a while, the price, the demand for face masks has dropped. The same thing for hand sanitizer. So imagine at the point when hand sanitizers were introduced, face masks were introduced simultaneously, and liquid wash for you to be able to, or hand wash for you to be able to wash your hand was introduced side by side. Then you discover that it would have been able to put a lot of organizations on the right track. But a lot of people lost out. They went, okay, for example, in Nigeria, a lot of people ran into the production of hand sanitizer, and now they are even begging you to buy hand sanitizer. People are not interested because they were not, the people producing were unable to connect the dot. So one of the things that we must take note in business is the fact that many consumers are not brand committed. What they are interested in is your ability to solve their problem. They are not, not everybody will say, okay, if it's not this, I will not buy. They are looking at what can solve their problem. So if you are able to solve problems, then you are in for good business. Now, a lot of us, you ask people, what do you do? Someone say, okay, I sell cars. Now, I've got good news for you. You don't sell cars, you sell class. Somebody running a restaurant, you're not selling food, you are selling safety. Or what use is it to have a restaurant and your food is not safe? Or what use is it for you to own a restaurant and people eat and complain of stomach poisoning or food poisoning? It makes no sense. So, if you okay, I don't believe that we'll be born again after this class. If you've been used to saying, okay, I sell cars, I want you to change, understand that you sell class, not cars. If you're selling weapon, you no longer sell weapon, you sell attraction. The reason why people want to look good is so that they can be attractive. Nobody wants price. The reason why people keep buying shoes, bags, and clothes to look good, to have confidence, so you have to pay attention to these things. These are some of the things that we talked about, connecting the dots. What makes people look confident? That's okay, shoes, bag, clothes. Then for beautiful ladies, deal on lipstick, foundation, eyelashes, makeup. You're selling beauty. Because what is it to sell eyelash that making a person look like a masquerade? It does not make sense. Now, I'm an author, but I sell freedom. I want at the end of the day, whoever subscribe to any of my courses, webinar, or book, or my books, you get freedom. So one major thing that we have to understand to be able to build the right business is the fact that we should stop selling futures. A lot of people are selling futures, sell benefit. Wow, how can your product transform your customers? Now, people will only buy from you when they know you, like you, and trust you. So if you are not in business to cut corners to make money off people, you are in business to serve. So if you are not meeting that need, people are going to look elsewhere. Now, the next point brings us to creativity. We need to be very creative about it. Zoom is a perfect example of creativity as we speak. Now, Zoom changed the face of communication in the sense that we can engage on several video calls instead of meeting physically. A lot of programs, a lot of trainings, a lot of webinars have come up via Zoom. Now this, I love this organization, OPay, but interestingly, some funny things happened to them, and currently they had to downsize. When they came into the Nigerian market, they had to, they came with some form of creativity. They did not do what other people are doing. So if you are in business or you're going into business, you must understand how things work in your environment. The way things work in Ghana is not the way it works in Nigeria. So you must carry out consistent marketing and hide your execution strategy. So you don't go and show the whole world, this is what I'm planning to do. Let people see what you have started doing. For example, the OPay, they came into Nigerian market with mobile-based platform for payment, transportation, food, groceries, delivery, as well as other important services. And within the twinkle of an eye, everybody started subscribing to OPay, and it went wow. So we must be very creative as entrepreneurs. We have to be very creative about our product and service. Then this is a very critical area. When you are creative and you have done other things, this is where a lot of things can go wrong. A lot of entrepreneurs are not, they don't know how to persevere. Perseverance is very key. So as an up and coming entrepreneur, it is important you have a survival budget. It's not all the money that you have that you just spend. Now, one of the things that has helped me, which I would like to share, but it's not on this slide, is I discovered during this lockdown, I discovered a 5-wallet system. Now, what the 5-wallet system says is that any money that comes to you, you take 50% out for projects. You put 20% aside for savings. Now, you could use 10% for your personal expenses, 10% in case of emergency, then 10% for those of us who are Christians, 10% for your tithe. Now, many times we just feel that because money has come in, the money is our own. We must be able to separate ourselves from our business. A lot of entrepreneurs are in serious debt. And so, as part of your ability to persevere, you don't have to get tired or get weary. So don't fight until you are tired, fight until you win. So it's a continuous journey. The next thing is you have to be very assertive. You have to be very assertive. You have to be optimistic. You have to be positive about it. So I came up with this funny quote that on your way up, sell yourself without shame. See, shame does not help anybody. On your way up, sell yourself without shame. And when you get there, avoid anything that can bring you shame. So you have to be able to follow up without reservation. I was sharing with someone some days back that somebody sold something to me that I did not like. and I asked for a refund, and the person said I cannot refund the money. It's not refundable. I was trying to sell something more expensive for me, and I said no. I learned a big lesson. Selling is for everybody. If you are an entrepreneur and say you don't like selling, please go look for something else to do. Go get a job. Now you have to develop confidence. See this. Nobody can develop confidence for you. You've got to develop it from within you. Now, how do you do that? Never doubt your own abilities because of other people's business. Many times, a lot of us doubt ourselves and say, okay, because Mr. A is doing well, that means he's the one that has the largest market share. That's not true. You must develop your self-confidence. When Zoom started, they did not start the way they are now. They had some hiccups, but they had to develop confidence. Zoom has taken out Skype out of the market. We don't hear about Skype any longer, even though they're still in the market. No, with the introduction of Zoom, Facebook came out with another product similar to Zoom. Google came out with theirs, and everybody is. Microsoft came out with, I think, Microsoft Team. So the next question is, what next? Haven't known all these skill sets, haven't known this is what you ought to do. What should I do next? Now, it's more profitable to niche down. You cannot be a general practitioner. You'll be frustrated in business. You cannot be clearing, you cannot be forwarding. You have to choose an area that fits your strength. So how do you do that? You have to learn to specialize. For example, before now, I tried to do almost everything, and I got my fingers burnt. And so what do? I just focus on strategy consulting. I work with entrepreneurs who want to build healthy organizations. I discovered that a lot of entrepreneurs, they are more interested in building physical structures than they are actually developing the internal elements of the organization in terms of the employee, in terms of learning and development, in terms of putting structures. A lot of them don't pay attention to all those things. So when you specialize, that is actually where you make a lot of money. That is where you're able to meet a lot of need. That is where you're able to know who your ideal audience are, your ideal market, your target audience. That is where you know how best to pitch to them. So at this point, I'd like us to have questions. If you have any questions to ask, please feel free. I hope you got value so far. Time for questions. If you have questions, let's have it. Any questions for me?
Is Emily in there? Okay.
Thank you, AJ.
Emmeline, can you hear us? Okay, I think Emmeline is not available at the moment, or maybe she's having...
Okay, I have a question. The question is, what's the difference between running a business and owning a business?
What's the difference between running a business and having a business? Is that the question?
And having it, yes.
Okay, running a business is like, yeah, how you have to keep your business going. If I am correct, how to keep it active, how to keep your business active, and owning a business. Hey, that one there is a bit. Ali,
And tell me,
Yeah, hi.
yeah,
Hello.
can you answer that for us?
Running a
Markesia.
business and then owning a business.
Yes.
You know, simply put, right, running a business could mean that you are directly involved in the day-to-day activities of the business, okay? And then owning a business could be that you own the business.
Oh, okay. Anyone else? Clifford, I can see you. Charles, I can see you. Deborah, I can see you. George, I can see you. So any other idea for us?
Go ahead.
Give a comment as an MC before the questions came in. But since the question has come out, then I can just wrap it up.
Okay. Now, the reason why that, I asked that question, the difference between running a business and owning a business. Now, everyone room for people to be able to invest in that business. You create room for creativity, for opportunities, for people to be able to come up with different ideas that can take the business to world class. Now, why we need to look at this is because a lot of businesses in Africa don't pay attention to succession planning. And that's why a lot of businesses fail. Immediately after the owner dies, that's the end of the business. So I believe that we'll be able to take some positives from this. Well, is there any other question?
Thank you very much, Wilson, for that. That was powerful. Any other question? Let's quickly ask our questions because time is running out. But I would say that, Wilson, your presentation was just so spot on. Fantastic and a brilliant presentation. I believe that anybody who was fortunate to be here today, your life cannot be the same. John Maxwell will tell you that there is riches in your niches. And that is why I really subscribe to what Wilson said about not being a general practitioner, but identifying your niche. He said a great thing about being confident, not doubting yourself because you see other people are progressing, but focusing on your own key strengths and not on your weaknesses. I mean, a lot of powerful, powerful words that can transform your life. My life has changed again after listening to you, Wilson. I mean, if anybody, I'm gonna 2 minutes for anybody to just ask a question. 2 minutes. Anybody else? Uche, I can see you are in there. I believe that you are blessed. I believe you've been blessed. Yeah.
Uche just joined in, so I think she has missed a lot today.
Oh, but thank God that the YouTube, I think Makezia would be, I hope that the fact that it's been, cutting off, we'll still have it on YouTube because anybody who misses this session, best case scenario, we get a slide.
Yeah.
The slide is, you read the slide, you understand everything that was presented, so you don't lose anything at all. But it's something everybody who came here must have. Okay. So I was trying to share the books. I mean, Wilson has written about 4 books. I mean, amazing guy. Stop Being Normal is crazy. I sell it for 10 cedis. So if you need it, please pick it up. You cannot remain the same. COVID-19 has come to tell us that we cannot remain the same. We have to stop being normal. Wilson will ask me, Emily, are you still working? You still working? Please stop being normal. You're still working for somebody. Stop being, amazing. It's amazing, guys. You need to read his books. All of it. I have Stop Being Normal 10 CDs. If you will just make your order and you will get it delivered to you at a fee. Okay, you can reach Wilson. Can you please let us your handles? I know it's on the slide, but I can't go back. Now I won't be able to control. Well, where can we find you on social media?
Okay, okay, on Facebook, Wilson Samson. On Instagram, I am Wilson Samson.
Okay. That's fine. So please, if you're not connected to him, please make sure that you connect with Wilson and then he will sort you out. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you so much to our able sponsors. We are very grateful for making it possible for us to have this beautiful and wonderful session. Belaqua Mineral Water, Realtalk with Sandra, AJ Willz Media, Blaqsheep Multimedia, HitzAfrik Radio UK. Thank you so much to our sponsors and our partners. Citylife, the CEO of Citylife Management, Mackenzie Moore, would like you to give your closing remarks and then we call it a night.
Okay. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you, especially our speaker we have tonight and the host we have. I say God bless them all. And to you all those who are able to participate, may God richly bless you. Tomorrow supposed to be off, but we are going to have one of our own again, Ogochukwu Nweke here, and you don't have to miss him. Those of you who have met him before, you know how powerful he is when he's presenting. They will make a time with us tomorrow again. Though I'm supposed to have a surprise for some of you today, those who have been able to follow us up to date, but we'll postpone it to another time. We have a surprise for those who have been who started with us, and at the end of this program, we will surprise them. Thank you so much for today, and may God bless you. May God bless you all. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Please, I want to have my